Welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony of the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. We will start right now. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Paulina, all yours.
Welcome everybody. Today is a great day because it is the graduate school ceremony. It's an important day for you to remember. For at least I see two reasons. One is that you culminate a year of knowledge and efforts. Another is that just today you will start your professional journey. And regarding this first point, I would like to thank you for the effort, the work, and the involvement that you have had during this year. I would like also to thank to your family, because without their support, it had been very difficult for you to work on the way that you did it. Thanks also to our company and supporter, because the success of the Barcelona Graduate School relied on them. And most of all, thanks to the director of Barcelona Graduate School, Teresa García Mila, all the associated team, the professor, and the director of the master programs. Their devoting made the success of this master. But I would like to talk to you a little bit about what will start tomorrow. Tomorrow, you will start your professional journey. How will the journey be? We don't know, but for sure, it will be a mix of events and surprise that sometimes they will look at failure and sometimes and success. But what is important, and that them both will bring you a happy step ahead. And in my view, the best option is paving the way with efforts and knowledge. And I know that you have been prepared for that. And I am sure that now, Ramon Marimón, professor at the Institute of Florencia, professor at the University of Pompeu Fabra, and the former president of Barcelona Graduate School, that he will give us the ceremony speech and the graduation speech. I am sure that he will give us very good ideas in your and our journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paulina, the President. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to give the speech. Usually I was sitting there and giving the word to whoever has to speak, but today I think it's my turn to deliver. Sorry. So, I love Barcelona, but I live in Florence. And if you live in Florence, then you realize that the so-called Renaissance, which was revolution, humanistic revolution, it was the work of just few guys, that they knew each other, that it goes through the centuries. Of course, it's not just one generation, but there were not that many. It goes from Masaccio, Brunelleschi, and those people, they knew each other. They criticized each other, of course. And they also understood that they had to learn from the past. Like Brunelleschi went down to Rome to understand how they could build. That was an open problem then, the Duomo. And it goes all the way to Michelangelo and Leonardo. So those are a process of emerging ideas becoming innovative art by artisans, architects, and other artists working neck to neck, criticizing each other, also learning from the past and elsewhere, being supported by patrons, the bankers, and the popes. This is a process of ideas and institutions. That was the Florence of the Fiorino, a fairly open society. And this, sometimes we think of art as being very different in size, and it is, but there are elements in common. And Popper describes the process of learning by saying, the process of learning of the growth of subjective knowledge is always fundamentally the same. It's imaginative criticism. And that's what those guys were doing. Of course, after the 1500s, Italy just doesn't keep at the same speed and age. Spain and France, they were not very friendly at that time. But it is later on that this process develops with Enlightenment. The European Enlightenment was a multi-phase phenomenon, much of it concerned with natural law and justice, religious and political tolerance, human rights and freedom, inequality, legal reforms, and much else. At the deepest level, however, the common denominator was the belief in the possibility and desirability of human progress and perfectibility through reason and knowledge. This is what the best economic historians, like John Mokyr, tell us. And that's how we understand what is fundamental for growth. And this was a systematic process of accounting for ideas and knowledge through encyclopedias, on having societies everywhere in Europe of this presentation, dissemination, critique of all these ideas. That was a web of institutions, fairly different from others, but that allowed for people to move from one place, and they were not like from some places end up maybe in Glasgow, like Adam Smith. So this is the idea of having ideas and institutions in Europe on the Enlightenment. There was a long process of the 17th and 18th century of having this belief, even if there was no delivery at the moment. But then it went from the Enlightenment to a more understanding of the deep science behind some of innovations. So that's when you start having science-based innovations, and it was the heritage of the Enlightenment which led to the Industrial Revolution. And that's where growth starts. Not very strongly at the beginning, but that's exactly when it starts kicking out. By 1914, Mokyr says, the convergence club of industrialized economies consists almost entirely of countries that had been exposed to the Enlightenment 2 centuries earlier. And we can see this in the map of Europe. Spain was not one of them at that time. And then it growth, of course, went up. So when we are at the in 1900, that was the exposition of Paris, one of these big fairs. It was a show casting of advanced economies as open and innovative economies. That was the time that one could cross Europe and many other countries without a passport. Stefan Zweig reminds us of this wall. A fairly open society where trade was at the highest by that time. And this was the first stage of modern globalization following the steps of the Enlightenment. As in its own way, Florence was too, an open society in the Quattrocento. As in its own way was the Republic of Athens in this high day, in the golden age of Socrates and Pericles. He will say, our city is thrown open to the world. We never expel a foreigner. We are free to live exactly as we please, and yet we are always ready to face any danger. Of course, the death of Socrates seems like a premonition that this path of open societies was going to be a troubled path, not an easy one. So, at the beginning of the 20th century, things looked fairly good. But of course, as we know, it didn't take many years to change radically so. We had at the end of those 2 wars, war and destruction. And that's when Popper wrote his work on the open society and its enemies. The enemies at that time were fascism, communism, according to him. But the whole point was to say that modern totalitarianism is only an episode within the perennial revolt against freedom and reason. But then it's out of this that the European project of the European Union started. And things developed and changed for what best, and we had the longest time of peace in Europe. Of course, openness is not always the same. As a teenager in the 70s, I went to London. I will not elaborate on that. Then later on, I went to Chicago. That was to do the PhD. It was this sense of freedom of arriving to UK or arriving to US, an openness, until the wall finally came down. And this was when we started Pompeu Fabra. Exactly that period. It was the Barcelona of the Olympic Games. All the world know about that. But hosting games and fairs doesn't make a city open. Not even millions of tourists will make it so. As with any society, its institutions, laws, and culture are the ones that make an open city. Barcelona had a tradition of being a cosmopolitan city, and I think we tried our best with Pompeu Fabra. But then later on, we also wanted to keep and include all the other economies involved in research and active research in Barcelona. We had been working on that. And that was the idea of being inclusive and have diversity within us, too. That's why in 2006, Barcelona GSE was created. To have a strong group that advances the process of economic learning with imaginative criticism. But now, almost 30 years after the wall came down, us and them is back. In the form of populism and nationalism, it's us and them again. With Trump, the Twitter, with Brexit, with many other things. It's all over the place. And sociologists write books like this one on how fascism works, the politics of us and them. Remind us nightmares of 100-year past. But hopefully, this time will not be war and destruction. But in this period, we have learned a lot in social science, much more than at the times that Popper wrote the book. But it may well be that in our new global society of our smartphones visions, that's what we see. Some of you might have seen this. This is a network of high school students in US, and that tells how they're connected with the smartphones. And you can see they are fairly connected, except in 2 groups. It happened to be one black, the other white. And it's not just a problem of high school kids in US. This is how it was the connection within the Senate, of US Senate in 1990. All these things means that even they were Republicans and Democrats, many times they vote together. And that's how this is how it looks now in 2015, completely divided. And this is the work of Matt Jackson that he presented here. He's in our scientific council. And if you want to read a good book about what's good research in social sciences now, that's a good one to have for this summer. The problem is precisely this, that a very divided society, it's unlikely to be an open society. So you are the 2019 class of Barcelona GSE, and I hope yours has been an experience of being in an open community with friends. Why not for life? Making them for life. From elsewhere, an experience of practicing and being exposed to criticism, helping you to get the best out of you. And now you're a member of BGSE Alumni Network, just after you get the diploma, so make it strong and open. And as he said, we must go on into the unknown, the uncertain and insecure, using what reason we may have to plan as well we can for both security and freedom. Not bad. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramon. Now we're going to have our dignitaries from the UPF and UAB give you a very short speech before we give out the diplomas. I know I told you reverse, but we will do it as this. And you know, it's the first time we come here, so we are all a little bit excited and also a bit nervous, and that includes myself. Yeah, includes myself. So I was so nervous at the beginning that I forgot to do the most important thing in that ceremony. And this was introducing you correctly, our president, who is Paulina Beato. Thank you, Paulina, and sorry for this. So if you could give the word to UPF and UAB, and then we will do the diplomas. Okay. So, just they can do their speech now.
Okay. He requests me, and I'll do very happily. Please, Jose García Montalvo, I would like you to tell a few words.
Was this the time?
I thought it was later, but he's changed the order.
Okay. Fine. I didn't have time to finish writing. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. First of all, congratulations, obviously. Today, I'm here representing the rector of the Universidad Pompeu Fabra as vice rector of scientific strategy, but I'm also a research professor at the Barcelona GSE, where I used to teach before I got involved in other things. While I was preparing these words, I reflected in the same day that you are living today, when I finished my first year of the master. No? Remember that at that time it was very popular in the commencement ceremonies to use a sentence by Alfred Mercier that said, "What you learn with pleasure, you never forget." Okay. Well, the second part of the sentence in my case was true. The first part, it was a little less obvious, but it's not. I think it's not learning. It's based on knowledge, what you really get, or what is important now. I think there are many other things. I remember now the friends that I made, how difficult it was at the beginning to live in a different country, very different environment, and try to adapt to that. And that made me, learn things that were not strictly knowledge. And also the discipline and the rigor in thinking that I obtained during that year and the following years. So I think that's something that is not strictly knowledge, but is very relevant, especially in this time where the world is dominated by all this fake news and where knowledge seems to be not important. What is important is what you can impact, how you can impact people with ideas that may be wrong or maybe not rigorous. And I think that this is something that you got in the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. I'm sure you got that, and it's going to be very useful in your career, in your future and in your career. And I think I didn't have time to write more, so congratulations.
And now, changing again the initial plan, I give the floor to Charles Gispert, the Vice Rector of the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. Please tell us some words.
Thank you very much. I don't have the problems of Professor García Montalvo because I have my speech already written. Then good afternoon, students, authorities, families, professors. First of all, I would like to excuse the presence of our rector, but I am delighted and it's a privilege to have the opportunity to participate in this nice event, in this fantastic place, this beautiful theater, and do it as the institutional representative of Autonomous University of Barcelona. Congratulations. Today is your day, a great day. You have finished with success a very demanding and outstanding master studies, and you have the right to be proud of your work. Some months ago, probably you had different master's options in different places. You evaluate them, and finally, you decided to enroll in a Master of Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. I assure that you took the right decision. Now, if you look back, you will realize your achievements, your academic, professional, and personal progress. You are many people and arrive from many different countries. Here you have met sharing a mutual goal. You have worked together, you have fought and suffered and enjoyed it together, and this connect and link a lot. This is one of the things that will remain inside you. Also, another things are all the experiences and hours of hard study for your master. This will help you to have criteria, to better evaluate your decisions and to progress individually as a professionals. You already know that the job market is there and it's competitive and often complicated, needs sacrifice, but all of you have a strong foundation. You are very well prepared, and everything that you take now from this institution will remain you for the lifetime. Again, congratulations. You have completed a prestigious degree, you have acquired high-level education, and are better prepared for exercise leadership, for improving your companies, your universities, your institutions. This implies a big responsibility. Your decisions and opinions will be heard. Your leadership will be followed. Finally, we encourage you to keep in touch and feel part of a community that will always pay attention to you. Barcelona will always be here. Our universities are at your disposal. Have a good luck and many successes in your life. Thank you.
Please, I would like to call Teresa García Mila to be here with us for the handing out the diplomas. Teresa?
Thank you very much, Paulina. Thank you very much, Ramon, José García Montalvo, Carlos Gispert. Thank you, Teresa, for being here. So we're going now to give the diplomas to all the students. That's your moment. Again, I'm nervous because I have to read loud many names that I don't know how to pronounce. But I will do my best. It will work, you will see. So first, we're going to start with the degree in data science. And yeah, let's see how was this year for data scientists at the GSE. So, ladies and gentlemen, relatives, guests, professors, directors, staff, help me giving a super big warm to the data science promotion of this year. We start with the names. Felix Adam, Sister Leonardo Alcibar, Julia Bois Barnett, Maya Brenner Steinfeld, Hannah Bussoff. Héctor Eulogio Cano, Wright Falconer, Lucas Freire Silva, Hannah Geritz, Georgi Guliashki. Ari Lam, Sam McIntyre, Oscar Martínez, Mónica Ana Matia, Evelyn María Molina Bolaños. Jordi Morera Serra, Costis Niacaros, Mariam Rabbaralam, Guillem Sitges i Puy, Callan Windsor. And finally, for data science, Sebastian Wolf, Kaka Ye, Maximilian Zepphauser. Thank you, data science, and congratulations for this year. So we're going to move next with the master's degree in specialized economic analysis. We will warm competition, economics of public policy, international trade, and finally, macro. So, yeah. Let's see how was this year for competition, no? Where are you competition? Where are you competition? Here? Yeah. So everyone, please help me congratulating the students of the Programming Competition and Market Regulation. Viviana Aragon, Alexander Bardales, Leandro Benítez, Andrea Brucato, Mei Yu Xia. Alex Shivorovska, Alice Di Muzio, Fabrizio Faila, Yamilet Emilia Gallardo, Elena Pascale. And finally, for competition, Mauricio Gustavo Quiroga, Benjamin Rota, Moritz Schwartz, Andrés Eduardo Valdivia. Thank you, competition, and congratulations as well. So the next one in the degree in specialized economic analysis is economics of public policy. So let's see. How was this year for you? So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice hug to those graduating in Economics of Public Policy. Josep Bosch Plana, Jazmín Bustillos Olave, Guillem Cuberta Rifà, Carlos Feliu, A Yaong Yang. Ganting Yin, César David Mora Ruiz, Alejandro Muñoz, María José Velasco Verges, Faisal Rayab. Thank you. And finally, for public policy, Agrima Saore, Zachary Stevens, Marie Tillen, Eric Torres, Damas Eric Sosu. Thank you very much, Public Policy, and congratulations as well to all of you. So the next program in the specialized economic analysis is International Trade, Finance and Development. So let's see how was this year for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me warming the graduates on International Trade, Finance and Development. Sarat Chandra Akela, Sofía Álvarez Bermejo, Adriano Amati, Laura Ambrosic, Yildiz Ashikvaeva. Michael Barczai, Lodovico Bianchi, Daniel Bolduc Zuluaga, Guido Bongioianni, Julia Brunet Lopez. Jesús Enrique Davoín Pacheco, Ritus Dalmia, Mateo Franchi, Marey Fürstenberg, Guadalupe Galambos. Analia Belén García, Miquel García Agraz, Gianluca Guerzoni, Laura Gunderson, Clara Sumin Yin. Timo Nicolaos Capellari, Alessandro Maimone, Marichel Martínez Ruiz, Ryan Maxwell Macrum, Diana Molina. Giulia Orban, Lorenzo Paiva, Pascal Pal, Lorena Pastor Palacios, Andrea Pérez. Albert Pierres, Jenny Premoli, Eric Ragan, Gabriel Enrique Ríos Pérez, Catherine Milagros Rojas Salazar. Gitzem Shaman Cevechi, Ina Sandler, Lucas Schäfer, Rasmus Herlo Schmidt, Stefan Thies. And finally, for ITFD, Giulio Vannicelli, Juan Nicolás Belandia. Go back. Picture. Woo. Thank you and congratulations, ITFD. So now let's see the last program for specialized economic analysis, the macro program. You select the song, you selected the songs for the videos. I don't know if there's anything hidden in the songs that you select, but I have some thoughts about it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big applause to the students, almost alumni, of the Macro Policy and Financial Program. Vedant Agarwal, Marie-Pierre Aquino Coste, Alberto Armijo, Evelyn Chow, Andrea Cubells. Ivana Ganeva, Zorun Helgadottir, Lauren Kuhn, Rana Mohie, Zeynep Ardmen. And finally, for the macro program, Jacqueline Pastrana, Corrado Pensabene, Albert Ramírez Angelat, Cosimo Sciarra, Guillermo Viejo Calvo. Thank you, Macro, and congratulations for all this year. So let's see for the master's degree in economics and finance, program in economics, and program in finance. See, how was the year for the students in the program in economics? So, ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulating the students in the program in economics. Elena Appelberg, Shaili Bauguna, Igli Bajo, Julie Balitran, Thibaut Baquet. Diego Esteban Borquez, Ana Bras Monteiro, Joseph Bass, Diego Cajigas Castro, Dario Cardamone. Karim Karum Sanz, Josefina Cenzón, Gabriel Chávez Bosch, Alexandra Chuguyevskaya, Antonio Colomé Pons. Talita Faustino Esperanza, Íñigo Flores, Imer Flynn, Lorena Valeria Franco, Alessandra González. Gu Dian, Nimisha Gupta, Davina Her, Santiago Iglesias Cuenca, Marco Irizarry Martínez. Jenna Julius, Richard Kelly, Nusrat Khan, Laurence Crook, Manuel Lago Rodríguez. Corentin Lemaire, Diego Loras Jimeno, Harry Masters, José Máximo da Costa Carreira da Silva, Andrea Mazzoleni. Guadalupe Montenegro, Tabitha Ngugi, Jens Öhlen, Héctor Paredes Castro, Mirela Hirakawa. Daniela Prigotzina, Alejandro Rábano Suárez, Shaziazmat Fatima Rehman, Paul Richter, Alexander Christian Samuelsson. Florencia Sarabia, Ziyue Tsu, Aviman Satpati, Agata Sosnowska, Giovanna Stein. Barna Szabo, Selena Tethel, Chiara Toyetta, Rodrigo Tranamil, Jacob Tyler. And finally, for economics, Radoslav Velev, Yijun Wang, David Winter, Haoran Yang, Rosa Tseng. Thank you, economics, and congratulations as well. So now let's see how was the year for the last program today, the program in finance. So ladies and gentlemen, help me again congratulating the cohort on the program in finance. Burak Akat, Ozan Emre Akbas, Sebastián Álvarez Schlegel, Bernardo Bacherer, Natalia Bogatirova, Esteban Braganza, Yushin Cao, Ignacio Crespo Rey, Daniel De Juan, Pablo Escobedo, Dean Caleb Friedberg, Rodrigo Franklin Grandez, Eric Guerra, Alexander Hume, Joseph Corcames. Abhinav Kumar, Gabriel Ramos, Pablo Vicente Pastor y Camarasa, Francisco Pereira Montenegro, Sergio Rodríguez Apolinar. And finally, for finance, Punyapat Sainshan, Stephanie Sánchez, Abraham Alonso Soldevilla Cueva, Andrew Womer, Roberto José Oliva Salgado. Thank you, finance. Thank you, students. It has been a long year for everybody, but from the staff, we would like to thank you all for this year. And Paulina, if you give me just 15 seconds, because we did something super, super nice this year, even nicer than this theater, which is like awesome. Yeah, it was nicer. That it was, for the first time ever, someone that was singing that you had a super hard year. Clear. It was not a year, but it was a night. So this is what happened last Saturday. That was it, 15. Only 15 seconds, but congratulations to everybody. Paulina, if you want to give the floor to the alumni and the student.
Please, I would like to come here, Marta Morazoni, that is representative of alumni of year 2018. You have the floor, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marta. I am a PhD student at University Pompeu Fabra and a former master's student of Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. Let me first thank BGSE for having invited me to this beautiful occasion and congratulate this amazing cohort for having made it till graduation and in the most successful way. Among you, I have incredible friends and future colleagues, and also my very first brilliant class as a teaching assistant. So, some common and popular wisdom says that you never forget your first love, but I'm sure it applies to the first students you teach macroeconomics. This is an additional reason for being glad and grateful to have met you and share these 10 months of challenging journey with you. In the few and brief words, I promise, that I want to address to you in this special day, I want to underline what I believe are the most crucial lessons you will carry with you in your life. I will start with facts and stress it again. You made it. For most of you, it was the first experience away from home, away from your country, from the comfort of your family and beloved friends. Maybe it was even the first time you crossed oceans and continents, the first time you lived alone or with some wild housemates, the first time you studied in a foreign language, and the first time you realized that there is not a single food in the world that is as garlic-based as the Catalan one. I'm sure all these new adventures have shaped you and shaped the way you see yourself today as students, workers, and most importantly, citizens. And I can say I'm sure about it because I have experienced this whole package last year. And I went through the entire universe of emotions that have characterized your master here in Barcelona. Like you, I have asked myself many times what I was doing here. From September till June, every time I was trying to understand a difficult lecture or to solve an impossible problem set with my friends, I found myself questioning my choices, my limits, and my motivation. In a world that seems to always tell us to be sure, to blindly believe we are right, to fear nothing, I remember feeling small and thinking that it was most certainly my mistake. However, after the 2 years I've spent here by now, I've come to realize that this constant process of having questions and doubts is what marked the difference from being arrogant and superficial and being thoughtful and rational women and men. Not heroes, not perfect, simply rational women and men. It is not by turning away the eyes from difficulties that you advance in life, but is instead by acknowledging the problem and finding a consistent and viable solution. So let me point out the first big lesson I believe this year at BGSE has taught you. It is more than okay, I would even say it is essential to have a problem to solve. Without hard times, without challenges, no one progresses as a person, and no advances can be made by the society as a whole. You can, and in fact, you should feel lost sometimes, and accept that you cannot always succeed, that you might fail. Whenever you will face a tough situation in your future life, you should remember these 10 months of struggle and pressure. Remember how you felt and how you pulled together your brain, your personality, and the help of your friends and colleagues to finally find a solution. Remember that almost never you had a perfectly correct answer, but after all, you had always gained a better and sounder understanding of the problem. I mentioned the words friends and colleagues, not by chance, because here comes my second thought about your experience at BGSE. With 200 students coming from all over the globe, this school puts you in contact with a fair sample of people from different cultures, genders, religions, socio-political backgrounds, and it teaches you that differences are salient features of any positive and well-functioning environment. Through the variety of opinions and approaches to work and to life in general, one can learn from the experiences of the others and better complement their own views and ideas. In a society that constantly tells us not to recognize and not to respect differences, I wish you to be the people who will strongly defend heterogeneity as the key ingredient to progress and to share this planet in a healthy way. I invite you to be determined and persistent, and I wish you to have an open-minded and scientific attitude, to critically evaluate reality and to use your incredible intelligence to avoid falling in the traps of hate and resentment. I encourage you to listen to every opinion, even the ones you do not agree with, in the constant attempt to establish what is the best and not what is the easiest thing for you and for the society we participate in. Some centuries ago, an Italian poet named Dante Alighieri wrote the following sentence in a passage of the Divine Comedy. "Consider well the seed that gave you birth. You were not made to live as brutes, but to follow virtue and knowledge." These are my last words to you, BGSE students. Completing a master here was the goal and the reason you set out for this physical, educational, and personal journey. Now that your time here is over, it's the time that you take another step along the path of your lives. I hope they will be winding and interesting, because curious and clever human beings like you have a taste for adventures. I hope they will be enlightened by logic and rationality, and full of people you love, you value, and you can learn with. Knowing what you are able to do and what we can do all together, I wish you all the best for the years to come. Thank you and congrats.
Thank you, Marta. You give us a lecture. Now, I would like to give the floor to Rasmus Herlo Smith, the student representative of the International Trade Finance and Development of year 2019.
Wow. I want it that way. Here. Very overwhelming, very overwhelming. I want to just clarify, I'm not the student representative of the ITFD program. That is Eric and Julia, and they did a great job. But thank you very much for the floor, Paulina. I'm very, very honored to be invited up here. It's an absolutely delightful sight, and I've been excited about this for long. It is so great to see everybody. And I'm just very, very happy to be a part of this. Such a great group, funny group. And we represent more than 50 nationalities coming from near and far. And some of you have even come all the way from the Bella Terra campus. And also to the friends and family present here today, you have come to congratulate and welcome back this bunch of graduates from an incredible journey. And it's very, very great to see your proud smiles today. But exactly how proud the smiles ought to be, you might not fully realize. Therefore, I'll take you on a journey, our journey, on a magnificent ship called the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. In early September last year, we all, the sailors, embarked on this incredible journey, full of expectations, hope, and anticipation. Slightly nervous, but nevertheless ready for a challenging and a year full of learning and great experiences. We were greeted by the crew and the invaluable staff of the engine room, and they were prepared to do whatever it would take to make this journey one to remember. And embarking would later turn out to be the easiest part. The seas were calm and smooth as we set sail. Then the forecast for the year to come was looking very promising. Unknowing and innocent, we left the comfortable shore for the seemingly friendly open ocean. Further ashore, and increasingly disconnected from the world around us, we began our quest for the golden treasure in this new floating home of ours. And we quickly turned this ship into our home. We consumed our breakfast, our lunch, our dinner, and everything in between below deck. We managed our individual chores and duties while pouring down liters of coffee. We met our deadlines and we prepared ourselves to stand up to the tests that we were given. But unpredictable as the weather can be, it did not stay calm and cozy for long. Dark and serious clouds surrounded us. Days went by with a dense fog, making navigation impossible, and we were left fumbling in the dark. Then came thunder. First in the distance, but soon enough, this sudden burst of light traveled towards us with hasty steps. The seas were building to not only uncomfortable, but also dangerous conditions. Waves rolled over the railings, and the ship started tilting from side to side. The watery fists kept knocking on the hull with rhythmic persistence, and the most experienced sailors struggled to get the sails down, while the rest of us found it difficult just to hang on. There was no staying still and no going back. All but a few considered abandoning the ship in a passing moment of weakness, but we stuck together, and eventually we got used to the ship tilting. We learned how to turn it into advantage and to use the momentum of the waves to carry us ahead. But one day, a chilling scream from below deck broke the newfound optimism. The ship had begun taking on water. Slowly filling from a crack in the hull, the time constraint had suddenly become binding. Thank you. As a timely culmination of agony and joy, we finally saw land. It appeared unexpectedly, as a glimpse of hope on the horizon, but it felt like a healing injection of energy to make us go the last mile. Gradually emerging was a shore full of friends and family waving at us, cheering for our return. Never had the feeling of firm soil felt so good under our feet. Still dizzy from the tilting, we're now in the process of finding our footing and setting the direction for our future. Now, as capable captains of our own ships, we are preparing to set sail for yet another adventure. So ship ahoy and anchors away. I'm grateful to have shared this challenging but wonderful journey with you, and I wish you all the best for your adventures ahead. Enjoy the tailwinds, and let the headwinds make you stronger. And remember, there are small ships, there are large ships, and then there are friendships. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful journey. And now we are going to have a drink all together. But before finalizing, I would like you to recommend 2 gifts that you can do to yourself today, your graduation day. One is a commitment with love, with effort, and with knowledge. You are very well prepared for that. The other is keeping your ties and enhancing your ties with such a beautiful colleagues that you have known here in Barcelona Graduate School. I am sure that these 2 gifts that you can give to yourself will bring you through a very beautiful and happy life. And we all, and I particularly, will enjoy to see you through them. Thank you very much, and let's go to have a drink, and congratulations.